I'm Barry Funkhauser, and this is the Barry Funkhauser Show. Here's what's going on. Regal theater locations are shutting down. Instagram has rolled out the new quiet mode. And Real Housewives star Jennifer Shaw has been sentenced to prison. As always, I'm here with my co-host and general know-it-all current events guy, and Joe. Hey, man.
Yeah, what?
How's it going? Maybe I've been watching too much Bugs Bunny lately.
Oh, is that why you've been getting into that?
Yeah, maybe. Wise guy, eh?
I don't know. You know, when you were a kid, were you a Bugs Bunny person? Is that like were those cartoons, like the Looney Tunes stuff, was that like your go-to cartoons?
No, man. For me, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Darkwing Duck, and things of that nature.
Oh, okay. You didn't get into the classic cartoons then?
Not really. Nah, Did you?
Did I get into classic cartoons?
Yeah, are you one of those guys?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I loved all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Like, I love the Jetsons. I love the Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
It was a spectacular program. I also was like a big Scooby-Doo fan. I like Scooby-Doo. So,
you know,
I
mine. His name's Bob Bergen, and he's the official voice of Porky Pig. And
oh, nice. We should have him on, man.
we should have him on, you know, because he will break down how you do the voice. There's a specific method that he learned from Mel Blanc that gave him the gig on how to do the stutter. Yeah, he'll talk.
That's freaking great.
Dude,
that is great.
So looking back, I would have loved to have watched some of that classic stuff so that I can get some of the voice down, because cartoon voice stuff is like my flavor. I love that stuff.
You know what what I can do as far as a cartoon voice?
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, what's he sound like?
He doesn't say a word.
He doesn't.
That's why I could pull it off, man. I could pull off Wile E. Coyote because he doesn't talk.
That's what I was like. Oh, I say. I don't recall.
I say. No, that's Foghorn Leghorn, man.
I don't recall Wiley having a voice. I say. I do not recall.
Yeah, no, I loved all that stuff. And then when we got into like new cartoons, Robotech was my go-to.
Okay.
That was like the first Japanese anime manga that I ever saw, and it really just stuck in my head. I still think about that cartoon to this day.
Yeah. And on the other hand, guess how old I was when I learned what manga was?
Today. You're today's years
like
old.
3 months ago when I was at Barnes and Noble going, the hell, why they got so much of this manga? There's like 5 rows of it. Weird. And it's all like, sharp angles and colors and animation. And I was like,
I know. But the storylines in there, they were much more adult, not like adult themed, but they were much more, like serious themes than like your Looney Tunes or your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. Robotech was interesting just because it was like my first foray into like politics in entertainment. It was weird because it was a cartoon. And it was strange. It was a cartoon. It was geared at children, but they were talking about we got to get the council together to figure out how we're going to deal with this alien threat, and everybody's got a voice. We live in a democracy and stuff like that. And it was just I'm like 10, watching this stuff.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, because like Looney Tunes and Wile E. Coyote, it's the coyote, has to follow the roadrunner and drops off a cliff and it's funny and blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't ever serious. So those other new cartoons coming out of Japan were interesting. They kind of opened my eyes to different kinds of animation and different kinds of storytelling.
It's storytelling. Yeah. Yeah. And, I have a theory, Joe. I've been thinking about it for the last week and a half here. And I think, it's not quite cartoons, but gaming community, and since I watched the Last of Us on HBO Max, which is fantastic, which came from a game. It originated with a PlayStation game like many years ago. I really think, and we'll have Chase Shumway on the show with us on Friday to talk about this too, because I really think that we're in sort of a new dawn of these games, these classic games that have taken hours of our lives with all of these great stories. I really think we're at the dawn of cinema taking those stories to a new level. What do you think about that? We'll talk about it more on Friday, but what do you thought?
I mean, I guess are you talking about stuff like The Last of Us on HBO and
Yeah,
things like that?
yeah. Just the game scenarios.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean there are some I
Adapted.
think well, okay, so you know me, I've been in video games for years, so it's like I love this kind of stuff. Like I
Right.
wish that they would make better adaptations of some of these franchises because I think they have a really good opportunity. I am not a horror survival gamer. I played Last of Us for a little bit. The
No, neither
mechanics were
was
good.
me neither.
Story was good. It was just it's too scary. I don't like horror stuff, so it
But
didn't
look,
work.
the
But
mechanics are
everything
good and the story's good and the art's beautiful.
and the
And
arts are so the what's happening on HBO with The Last of Us, everyone is saying that it's a really really well shot and intriguing story, and it's made its way from the video game to the big screen or the small screen,
yeah, with respect though from the gaming community, because this is
Right.
tried before and it didn't work out so well. Everybody bombs it because it sucks.
Oh, well, because they try to, then you get a movie like Assassin's Creed with oh God, what a terrible movie.
Yeah,
Really good video game franchise,
great
but
example.
but they didn't take any kind of feedback from the community about what the community was looking for in a movie of this kind. And in the movie, they focused on the worst part of the game. Everybody who plays Assassin's Creed really dislikes the real world present time gameplay that you have to go through because it's dumb. Everybody just wants to jump into the Animus, which is like the machine that kind of lets you kind of transport yourself back into medieval times or whatever. And they just want to play as an assassin, jumping off, towers into haystacks and, solving mysteries and running around in, 1150 AD. But the movie, like 25% was that, and then 75% was the stuff that gamers hate about the game. That's why it failed. They didn't take any of the consumers' feedback into the prep for their movie, and that's why it's going to bomb. If you want to stay true to the franchise, I think it'll work.
Well,
Last of Us
it's
is
like
showing us that.
you're on one side of the spectrum and I'm on the other. Like you're a gamer, you understand in play. And me, I have a PS4 on the wall, Joe, and I think it might be on. And you want to ask me the last time I looked at that puppy? Let me give you a ballpark there. What do you think?
A couple years probably.
A couple years, and last thing I did on it, I connected it to the Wi-Fi, and that was about it.
All right,
So
so you're not a gamer. You're just looking for good stories.
yeah,
I think that okay, so
and
the
legacy.
com-
I love
the
behind
comic
the
book
scenes, like
realm. What the what? The legacy of
the
what?
behind the scenes legacy. Like this is something that people were really looking forward to, hoping it wouldn't be bad. And now it's good. And so I feel that there's going to be more of this happening.
I still think it's gonna definitely be franchise to franchise, and it's gonna be movie or miniseries to miniseries. It really depends on like who do you got who's gonna adapt the screenplay, who do you have as a director, who do you have as the actors. All
Right.
of those things are going to be important to making something successful. Um, I think that I feel like we are getting to the end of what can be mined from the comic book realm to make a successful Marvel level type of franchise. I just don't know if there's anything left. All the good stuff in the comic world has kind of already been mined and tried, and it's either failed or been successful, right? Everybody's now looking like, what's the new big thing? And I think everyone's looking at gaming now and the stories told in gaming to figure out like what has really large franchises that we can tap into, and what can we make into a dynamic show or
how
a dynamic
do we make
movie?
money? How
exactly.
do we make a lot of money?
So here's
somebody else made.
Here's another example. Halo. Halo actually was turned into a television show. Have you heard anything about that show?
It's a bomb, dude. It
bombed, right? Because they did the same thing as the Assassin's Creed movie. They took the worst parts of the game and tried to make that into a scripted television show. Nobody that plays Halo cares about any of this behind the scenes drama stuff. They don't care. They want to see Master Chief blowing up some aliens. That's what they care about in Halo. And the show was like 10% battle scenes and 90% people bitching about stuff. That's why it didn't work. So as long as they are true to the game, true to the fandom, and I know that fandom can be toxic, but you gotta stay true to that source material. If you change it too much, you're gonna lose the exact people you're trying to bring in. So we'll see what happens. I think there are a lot of video games out there that can be made into great movies and shows.
Let's bring it on. I'm bored. Let's bring on some good stuff.
Honestly, I know it's in development. I don't know who's doing it yet, but wait until they actually finally make Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I've heard. Okay,
it's a spectacular story.
Yeah, good.
And I really hope that they start at the beginning, because remember the first Red Dead Redemption, that came out like 12 years ago. Oh, wow, a long time ago. Probably 12 years ago. The second Red Dead Redemption 2 was a prequel. I actually hope they start with Arthur's story, which is the prequel, and then they move all the way through chronologically. I would really like to see that. I would really, really, really like to see that.
Well, I hope it comes out. And me, for one, I'm enjoying The Last of Us, and I hope it doesn't last as long as gameplay lasts, because that.
Oh no, it's not. It's only 10 episodes, man. It's like 10 hours.
So tiring when you're like, oh, here's a new game, and then you're just walking through a wilderness for 2 hours, going, what was I supposed to do?
Oh. Some of that stuff is like the funnest part of the game, like of those open world games. The Last of Us was like, it was too intense. But walking through the open world of Red Dead Redemption is really, really fun. There are lots and lots of Easter eggs, stuff to find, just randomly find, things to collect if you're a collector. Like, I just love running around in the game and collecting all the stuff, because there's like tons of stuff. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you are checking out a lot of the territory, and you got to like go find all these dinosaur bones, or try to find.
Have fun. You go have fun doing that.
Glyphs.
I'm moving up to stuff, and it's like, okay, they want me to push the triangle. Okay, hold on a second. Where's the triangle? Okay, there's the triangle. Oh, now I have to read a page or two of something. Okay, here it goes. So I'll sit back and relax and watch the cinema versions of these games, because I know they're very exciting.
So you just sit around watching our friend Chase play.
You betcha. That's right.
So you're like on to Chase's Twitch going like, oh man, I just can't wait to see what he does next.
You can watch him too if you have Twitch, and he'll be on Friday to talk more about all of this. All right, let's get into the news today. 39 Regal movie theaters, including 3 in LA and Orange County, will close as the chain's parent company files for bankruptcy.
For many moviegoers in the Southland, there will soon be fewer choices when it comes to where they can get that fresh, buttery popcorn and enjoy the latest flick. Regal Cinemas is set to close 39 more movie theaters nationwide after its parent company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in September.
I'm sorry to see it go.
It kind of makes me a little bit sad because we're moviegoers.
7 of the closing Regal locations are in California. 4 of them are here in the Southland, including this one at the Sherman Oaks Galleria, as well as 3 others in Hemet, Costa Mesa, and Yorba Linda.
It's not a surprise when we hear that movie theaters are closing.
Mark Malkin is the senior editor at Variety. He says the movie industry is still struggling from the pandemic, and companies that own theaters like Regal don't have the money to keep paying sky-high rents.
It was sort of this crazy perfect storm, if you will, of COVID and streaming taking off. COVID forced people to be at home, and then streaming sort of filled that void of going to a movie theater. People were able to watch movies at home, and we have to see it's much less expensive.
Oh, it's unfortunate. I wish that more people went to the movies, but with streaming, that's how it goes.
Regal is the second largest cinema chain in the U.S. with over 500 theaters. Jason Squire, a professor emeritus at USC School of Cinematic Arts, believes although streaming has changed the landscape of moviegoing, there is still room for theaters.
There's a huge number of core moviegoers who could not wait to rush back to theaters and are in theaters now. Look at the big box office that we had at the end during the holiday season. Most moviegoers will absolutely go to the theatrical event for tentpole movies and those with Oscar buzz and any other kind of buzz.
We try to go and, when the premieres come out, that's what we like to do. We do Thursday nights when they come out. That's our big thing.
People are going to go to the theaters for the big, huge movies like the Avatars, the Mission Impossible, the Top Guns. Those are the movies where theaters are going to thrive.
Reporting in Sherman Oaks, Rachel Kim, KCAL News.
Well, I mean, I see it as a sign of the times. It's like with TVs getting bigger and like they said, streaming happening. And when they release a movie in streaming and at the theaters at the same time, it's like, what is the motivation to go to these theaters? Now, Joe, you and I live in a very populated area of the world. Now, in other parts of the world, like let's say Dallas, Fort Worth, let's say Portland, I think they're more popular there in smaller communities, and also the experience is way cooler because they have like bar and service and food, like restaurant style food that they serve you.
Talking about
Have you been outside of California? They're awesome. There's
I've been to an Alamo.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I've never been to one of those big ones either, so I don't know.
Linda's new thing is the 4D theater. There's one over at the that new shopping center on Laurel and the 170.
What's that? North Hollywood?
Yeah, North Hollywood or something like that. No, but who was this reporter saying that people go to the movies when movies have Oscar buzz?
Oh, no,
I can show you 30 years of data that show you that Oscar-worthy movies do not get people in the theater. The only movies
maybe that's
where it's going to be viable in moving forward are going to be those tentpole movies that he talked about, like the big spectacles, like Avatar.
Yeah, and even then, it seems a hard pull because nobody I knew wanted to go see Avatar.
I mean, it made a bunch of money. And sure, there are going to be some people that I have zero. 10 years between movies. It's like I have zero desire to see Avatar. I didn't even think the first one was all that great. So I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done, James Cameron. You could have your movie, have your, billion-dollar screensaver. It's like that's all it is.
I feel like we're at the I feel like Voyager 2 right now, Joe, and I'll explain.
Well, you're at the heliosphere. You're about to break into deep space.
I think we are. I think we are at the end of things that have happened, and we're dawning upon a new world of things that are about to happen. For example, game theory and game storytelling coming into play, coming into spotlight. And then all of these legacy directors and stuff, all they're doing now is writing stuff that they know will make a lot of money or writing about themselves. Like, wasn't there one that wrote a movie about himself that just came out and made a bunch of Oscar buzz? I think we're just at the end of something. We're at a transitional phase. A transitional phase.
A transitional phase of what? We've been in this transitional phase for
No,
20
I
years.
disagree. No, I disagree. I think it's just beginning for some strange reason. I have that feeling because of the news that's coming out. These movie theaters are closing. There's a lot of culture change. We're at the end of this COVID thing, so people have to figure out how to live again. And anytime there's been something in history like what we just went through, the next decade is way different.
Well, sure, but my contention is that going to the movies has become too expensive. When you have the same option and so much more convenience of watching a movie at home, where you can pause it whenever you want, you can eat and drink whatever you want, or heck, if you want, you can like smoke cigars, blunts, you can do drugs, whatever you want to do in the comfort of your own home, watching a brand new movie where you're already paying for that service anyway. Going to a movie theater, let's say you want to take 4 people, right? Oh, screw that. Let's say you want to take 2. It's just you and Eve, right? You want to go to the movies. You want to see a movie. You want to get a soda. You want to get some popcorn, right?
She brings her own. She's got one of those fizzy things, those, the things that make their own sparkling water.
Just go with me on it. All right. We don't need you to sneak in your soda stream. Okay.
Hey, she would want me to mention that, so I did. So, okay.
All right. So fine. Okay. She has her soda stream. She saves money there. But let's say you're just like, you don't have that. You just want to go and you want to take your sweetie to a movie for the night, right? Okay. You get 2 tickets. You get a couple drinks. You get some popcorn, maybe a snack. That's $75 for 2 hours. Why? When you could just do you could watch the same exact movie at home. If it's not a tentpole movie, which is action packed with a lot of cool visuals, why are you ever going to go see like a drama in the movie theater again and spend $75 to do it? Or even if you don't, why are you spending $30 for 2 hours for 2 people to watch a movie? And that's a matinee. Yeah. That's the cheap $15 ticket.
Yeah.
You're gonna watch that stuff at home. I think that we're gonna see it's gonna be from its height. What the height in movie theaters was 10 years ago? I think.
Oh God, I don't know. Probably.
I think that was the number. Like the highest number of movie theaters in the United States was like 10 years ago. It's been crashing.
Oh, I see. All right.
We're gonna be down to like a tenth of that high. There's gonna be like a couple movie theaters per major city. Because it's not who cares? Like people aren't going. Like, sure, Avatar is going to make tons of money. Like the Marvel stuff is going to make tons of money. Star Wars movies are going to be fun to see in screen, but we don't have big blockbusters like that every single weekend. There's just not. I don't think that there's going to be enough interest in going to movie theaters where we're gonna have to have dozens in every neighborhood. I just don't see it. I don't see it coming.
Yeah, I'm agree. All right,
what's gonna happen to those movie theaters though?
Oh, Amazon factories.
You think Amazon factories? I'm thinking that
more Home Depots.
I think it would be cool to be able to stream other events. Like, I think it'd be cool to have like some movie theaters that double as like, go see your favorite concert live, or
they already do
blah,
that.
Blah, blah, from Paris, here. Did they, I think it might grow.
They do that. Yeah, it'd probably be a gathering event,
Something like that. I'm just really sad that the movie theater down by my house, the Sherman Oaks one, can't survive. It was my favorite movie theater that I have ever been a part of, ArcLight in Sherman Oaks. I loved that theater. When they went out of business during COVID, Regal took it over, and now it's closed there too. So, I don't even have a home movie theater anymore, so I don't even know where I would go.
Well, just like the Grand Ballroom in downtown LA, most of these movie theaters, I believe, will become Korean churches.
You're probably true. That's probably true.
All right. Today's show is brought to you by
Wolf Tracks. Unleash the love. Do a good deed for dogs. Walking with the free Wolf Tracks app helps you earn for your favorite animal charity. Download the Wolf Tracks app, start walking your best friend, and unleash the love for all dogs.
All right, more news. Instagram is making some changes aimed at helping users, especially teens, manage how much time they spend on Instagram.
For the millions of parents whose teens use Instagram all day and night, there's a new tool to help their kids take a break, quiet mode.
What quiet mode allows you to do is pick times of the day or the week where you don't want to be bothered by Instagram.
Anyone who sends a direct message to someone who's enabled quiet mode is notified that person is not available. And because teens have a fear of missing out, when they come out of quiet mode, they can see everything they missed. Instagram will also send any teen who's using the app for more than a few minutes between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. a message encouraging them to put quiet mode on. The changes come after rising concerns about the impact of social media use on children and teens. Instagram's own internal research found 1 in 3 teenage girls who were experiencing body image issues said Instagram made them feel worse, though the company says a majority of teen users felt that Instagram either had no impact or made things better.
Tonight, when my daughter gets home from school, I will be talking about quiet mode.
Chris McKenna is a dad of 4 and the founder of internet safety group Protect Young Eyes. His take on the changes?
So what I like about this is I'm always going to applaud anything that prompts teens to make better choices online. But at the end of the day, Kate, this is still a feature that has some dependencies. It depends on parents being involved to help their children make these choices.
Okay, too little, too late. That's Funkhauser's opinion on the matter. And what is this going to do for anybody? Like, any smart teen is going to avoid the quiet mode anyway if they're going to use the app. And it's true. You don't have to be a teenager to be bummed out about Instagram. Anytime I open it up, I feel worse about myself. It doesn't matter how old you are. I think if you're over 60, then you're happy when you look at it, because then you can post, like, I don't know, your long walks in your retirement and everybody likes it. But, anybody who's like trying to come up in the world, man, when you look on Instagram, it's just a bum fest.
There's also a much more oh, I'm sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought there. It's because
are you on Instagram? Is that why you've lost your train of thought? Because that could be a byproduct of that.
No, I'm just getting text blown up on text for some reason. The much more efficient way to not let social media take over your life is to delete social media from your life. And this is me, a marketing person, saying this. I don't think the kids should be using social media. I think we have enough data now over the last 15 years to realize that it's honestly, social media is detrimental to
I disagree.
to children's upbringing.
I get your motive. Okay, I understand your intent, but I disagree, because once you restrict something from a youth, they want it more. They want to get at it. So I think having an open discussion about it, I'll tell you, having my parents online has really diminished what I post because of the sheer embarrassment of the replies that I would get from my family members.
It doesn't matter. That's everyone has shadow accounts for that. Everybody has their family account that they share with their family, and then they have their real account that's all of their real posts. Well, yeah, because you're over 40. I'm sorry, am I not supposed to say that? No, older people don't have that because we don't need it, because hopefully you're secure in your own skin that you can fight off people yelling at you for your opinion. But younger people, no, they just all have like their wholesome, oh, I'm going to put all my schoolwork stuff on here for my family, and all my family or friends on this one. And then they have their actual account where they show themselves, doing, 5 shots at a party and, smoking a blunt, or, dancing the night away in the middle of the ocean at 2 a.m. Whatever it is, like all the stuff that they don't want their family to see.
I would want my family to see me dancing in the ocean at 2 a.m. That sounds awesome.
Well, sure, but if you're a 16-year-old and your curfew is 10 p.m., why would you want your family seeing you dancing at 2 a.m.?
Yeah, okay, fine.
I mean, so that's I don't think it's good. I don't know. It's like
I still think it's too little, too
there's a
late
way
for them to add the quiet mode. That's the problem.
I mean, sure.
Like
sure.
what somebody
I don't think I don't think this is going to help at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Delete it. Delete everything.
Well,
your burner one.
Do you want to burn those bridges? I mean, I guess. I don't know. I don't find anything all that redeeming about Twitter that I can't find in news sources, like reputable news sources elsewhere. I don't have all that much of a desire to see everybody else's trip photos and stuff. Like, I don't care. So maybe that's a personal thing. Like, I don't have FOMO because I don't really care what other people do. It just, like, if you have fun, that's great. Good for you. But I'm not doom scrolling Instagram going, oh man, that guy, oh, he's in I'm so jealous of that guy. Oh, look at that. Oh, so jealous of that person. Oh,
yeah, but we're not impressionable youth. Though.
We're not impressionable youth. Yeah, that's right. So for us, it's different. We're looking at it differently because we already have a very cynical view of the world. But, I don't know if it's the greatest thing for social or for social is for youth. I want to see something that is more empowering for youth and, helps to build up their self-esteem. What that is, I don't know, but we got to get past this era of, look at me selfies and, trying to one up all of your friends by the cool stuff that you do. It shouldn't be about that. We got to find a different method.
Well, TikTok,
share our lives.
Hate talking about TikTok because it's all banned and stuff, but I saw something a while ago about TikTok saying that, in their home country of China where they have TikTok, the stuff that's pushed to the youth are positive things like people winning awards or science and, people that are doing good for the world. Mm-hmm. But the algorithm here in America on TikTok is people doing carnival acts, challenges, that's what's being pushed everywhere else.
I blame the Chinese government.
Whatever it is. But we don't have anything that's positively propagandized.
Well, because in the United States, we don't necessarily reward positive news. It's boring to most people. That's why we get all of this other crap, because that's the stuff that goes viral. That we have a cultural dearth in our society that I really feel like we need to address. It's all pointed at it's all about you. It's all about me, is what I'm trying to say. It's all me. It's always inward focused. What can I do to become famous? What can I do to look good to other people? It's a very American way of life. And it also, I think, leads to a lot of the issues that we see with youth and social media. Not being quote unquote good enough or viral enough. We need to move away from that in our country, because I just don't. It's not helping anybody. It's not really doing all that much.
Keep on screaming at the wall. That ain't gonna happen, man.
I know. We need to stop thinking me and start thinking, what can I do to other people?
We want to rag mags all the time. We want to hear desperation from famous people.
I wish we could turn it more positive. Positive news is great. I just don't understand. It's we got to make it. How do we make positive news more entertaining? How do we make being a good person more
We try to do that every single day here on the radio program, and
I'm trying.
We're trying to do a good job. But you know what? What a time for you to bring up this, because in the other news, the final news story of tonight that I was gonna bring up is all about RAG. 2 victims of Jennifer Shaw's nationwide telemarketing scheme. They're speaking out. Listen.
For the first time, 2 of the victims of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Jen Shaw's nationwide telemarketing scheme are speaking out.
I'm telling the world I was stupid enough to get caught in a scam. And I'm not a stupid person, but I did make a big mistake.
Shaw sentenced to 6.5 years in federal prison for orchestrating a decade-long scheme that targeted the elderly and vulnerable.
How you doing?
75-year-old Tricia tells us ever since being duped out of half of her life savings, she has been rocked by shame. She didn't want to share her last name. She paid $47,000 on the false promise that Shaw's company would help her start an online business.
What was your reaction when the FTC contacted you and said you may have fallen victim to a scam that they were investigating?
I mean, I was shell-shocked, but it turned out to be true.
How has the combination of this situation, this financial situation, and your health issues impacted you?
I am just recovering from being in deep depression. And I'm going to cry. You get to the point where there is no way out. I don't have the money to take care of myself.
The complete episode of Impact, The Housewives Scam, The Real Life of Jen Shaw, is now streaming on Hulu.
Yeah. See, and at the end of it, they have to capitalize on the story one more final time, and tell you that it's on Nightline this week. Have you heard about this story yet, Joe, about the Jen Shaw situation and what she did?
Actually, no, not a lot. I don't really follow the Real Housewives saga very much, except for Andy Cohen, their producer, who I think is hilariously funny. But outside of that, no, I haven't heard. I just read a little bit about it. It was a telemarketing scheme, I guess.
Yeah,
and then she got caught on wire fraud.
That's right. She was getting the elderly to give her money using automated telephones, and I guess using her
elderly. Really, like that's the scum of the earth. Like you're trying to take money from retirees on fixed incomes. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, but how far do you throw these people that are doing these rag TV shows? That, like, do they really have standards and ethics? I doubt it.
Well, I mean, to get them on television's one thing, but I mean, did she make all this money and then get on? Did she make the money because she was on this show? All I know is that she's got to like pay like $12 million back.
Well, she's doing prison time, so
good. She should. It's what, 6.5 years, I think.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's more than fair. Oh yeah, she'll definitely get out in 3. If that might be 2. I hope that that the people that she scammed get at least some of their money back, because I can only imagine being a retiree, throwing your money in there and then having it all disappear. That
never happens. That never happens. They never get their money back.
Not all of it. She'll get some. I mean, she has to pay $6.5 million in restitution. That's directly to the affected victims. And then she had to forfeit another $6.5 million. So she's coming out of prison broke, hopefully.
Man, the decisions you make once you reach celebrity fascinate me, because there are many roads you can take. If you are someone as famous as a, what is this?
Housewife? A Salt Lake City housewife.
Housewife. I just think that, like, man, what a bad person to go down that road. There's so many other things that you could have done and made a lot more money doing it.
I know, but money and power corrupt. That's what everybody says. People don't have people obtain a great amount of money, but don't have the moral fortitude to do the right thing once they get there. Then they start to be corrupted by money and power. Things come easily. Everyone wants to give you free stuff. So you start to feel like entitled to stuff, to free things, or to take other people's money because I have money. I should be able to take everybody else's money. Why not? Why can't I just do whatever I want? I feel like that happens. People don't have, like I said, the moral fortitude to be rich. You got a lot of people asking you for stuff, and you got to learn how to say no. And you got to be okay with the tax bracket that you find yourself in. You can't always be wanting more. That's always going to lead people to trouble. Wanting more.
Yes, and influence always makes you think about which road you should take down. If you have any influence in the world, you should do the right thing always.
I agree. See, I just want to win the lottery so I could buy you and I a radio station signal somewhere. So we could.
Why
just
would
be
you do that?
radio
Take the
dudes.
loss. Why do you want to lose money?
Because I like losing money.
Buy
What's
us
wrong
an
with that?
Amazon server. That's what you got to do. Is buy us some
An
server.
Amazon server?
Get us some hardware, Buster. Then we can get this beef up, man. Radio.
I mean, I guess, but I like terrestrial radio and some.
Bro, you wait
capacity
5 more
still.
years and you can buy them at auction for as much as you want, little as you
Hey,
want.
hey, that sounds good too. Can we make our own online radio station that makes no money?
You know that.
I mean, it'd be cheaper than buying our station.
What's that saying? I got a bridge to sell you in Arizona, oceanfront property in Arizona. Is that the saying? It's like that. That's what
Yes.
I sell you. Well, how about I sell you an AM radio station for a Tesla future?
Sure.
Don't have
sure.
no
You can
radio.
keep your Tesla future.
Sons of bitches. All right. Well, you keep your money, Joe, and we'll be back tomorrow. This is the Barry Funkhauser Show.